In a remote location south of Easley, South Carolina, there lies an urban legend of 5 men killed along the creek bed of a place the local kids used to call the Darklands. An urban legend came to pass and was called the Damned of Darkland Creek. Along my travels to locations of death and horror, I have traveled to well-known hauntings and slaughter as well as lesser-known places. But in this time, I wish to explore the world of urban legends. Often there's a grain of truth in these local legends, but this one caught my attention due to the recent discovery of 2 skulls at the location. The 2 skulls were not identified but were determined to be male. The skulls had crushing wounds and were split in half with the brain matter removed. Local urban legend told of a man who loitered amongst the creek waiting for unsuspecting prey. Tall, lanky, with an enormous gut and veined arms and splintered red hair, the killer lumbered about wearing torn overalls and wielding a dual-headed axe. In all, 5 men were slaughtered here, or so the legend says. Unlike most legends, this area is devoid of ghostly activity, but instead legend claims the killer remains lurking, biding his time, searching for the perfect victim. Only those men with tainted souls and haunted spirit are hunted by the lurker of Darkland Creek. Now, do I believe such tales? No. Sounds a bit contrived to me. I sit along the creek waiting with haunted spirit awaiting a grisly demise. As I wait, I hear a roaring wind howling along the hollers that hold the creek. I begin to pen the next horror tale. Legend claims that those who dwell here after dark will hear the sound of soil parted as a blood axe runs along it. I begin to ponder how the men killed here were buried and begin to imagine caverns dug by leeches of the human spirit. What would dwell within these caverns? What evil haunts us beneath the soils of our feet? I decided to pen a story describing what lies beneath the soil and in our spirits. Does depravity and violence dwell deep within us all, or does it only remain in a select few? The questions in this and more will be answered in tonight's tale of Macabre, a tale of claustrophobia and causation, a tale of darkness and dread, a tale named The Deep. Kad men zugud gilgil, halhalam sabor izitab, sugnig men nedkelmo. Cadman zu good gilgil halhal zubur, izitab sunig me uzom nedkelmo. Cadman zugid gilgil halhal subur, azitab sunig nedkelmo. The frightful, agonizing cadence repeats with the rhythm of 1,000 tongues and the scowl of 1,000 wolves. Within the earth a chamber is dug, with the shovels and claws of obscenity leading to the bowels of reddened twilight. Within the chamber of dregs and lower flesh, they are placed, creating a prison for those seen unfit for mortal light. For generations the dregs in desperate givings would feast upon one another and mate amongst themselves. Digging into the earth, bloody claws, they would find shelter in hidden water. Tunnels of claustrophobia and a gas darkness are dug over thousands of years. Within these walls of fearsome atrocity, a child is born. Sons and daughters, mothers and fathers, fathers and daughters, mothers and sons. The mating rituals of survival are sickening indeed. Born into a world of darkness, the child cannot see the horrors that surround it. Gick. Vibrations run through the infant as the song of his progenitors sends it into a panicked frenzy. Cold clods of gore and earth would wound the infant as it is drugged through the maddening tunnels. Clump, clump, clump. Movement rattles through the tunnels as the infant flails in terror. Rip, slosh. Screams echo as one of the tunnel dwellers is ripped open with matted claws, as others smell the captivating essence of innards permeate through the caverns. Warm fluids engulf the infant, as raw organ meat is stuffed into its wailing maw. By instinct, the infant chews and mashes with its deformed teeth, gaining the only nourishment it will ever know. Fecal matter and ammonia-ridden scents rush through the strangled air, providing the only means of which these degraded denizens can energize their cells. For hours on end, the infant is left unattended, shivering in the dense, cold tunnels. Legions of guttural clicks surround the blind infant. Gick, clack, gick. Death lingers within the chambers as the infant begins to crawl. Cold dirt rests itself beneath its growing nails. Pain nestles within its limbs as it shivers and shambles on all fours. Smack, smack, smack. The sounds of bodies slamming into one another slither through the corridors as groans and grunts enrich themselves into the cavity of carnal horror. Ridges, bumpy and wet, slither over the creature's claws as the taste of iron and lime invade his tongue, slithering into his expanded gullet. As the creature matures, instinct drives its insatiable hunger, driving the young adolescent to make its first kill. The scent of death takes its nostrils, leading it to an injured brethren. Using its shorter back legs, the creature leaps atop its prey and digs its powerful jaws into a thin carapace. Slack! Shuck! Warm blood frenzies the adolescent as it begins devouring the entrails of its prey. The only momentary escape from fear is the cannibalism of one's own kindred. Soon the desire to breed takes the young adolescent over. Aggression compels a call to violence. The alluring scent of a fresh womb stiffens the creature's muscles and readies its libido. Options do not matter, only opportunity, for these creatures care nothing for love nor courting. Smack, glack, gluck, ha! Sudden violence erupts as another creature pounces upon the young adolescent, interrupting its carnal urges. Bigger, stronger, and older, the other creature tackles the adolescent and digs its claws deep into its back. Whipping upright, Sherlock offers the adolescent a chance to strike. Seizing the opportunity, he sticks at the throat of the elder, sending it seizing and gasping for air in a bloody heap. The violent display sends the adolescent into a frenzy as it lunges through the tunnels and channels, searching for a mate as the scent of a dripping womb hits its nostrils. It tackles its mate, slashing and biting viciously, subduing its prey. Often the attacks on their mates can kill them. In this instance, it may remain alive long enough to give birth, but only time will tell. And if the mate were to die, it is irrelevant. There are many more within the endless chambers. Curiosity dwells within a malformed devolution, bringing with it an uncharacteristic intrigue. Absolution pulls the creature toward an illumination both foreign and fearsome. Excavation of the depths of sorrow brings forth a burning path of enlightenment. Worlds burn before the bewildered adolescent. None shall leave the door of the house of evil, not even a child. What are these creatures if not children, if not unenlightened, tortured souls? Does the realm of the sun not welcome such beast, or does it condemn the depths back into darkness? The adolescent has tasted, yet never seen the color of blood. Barely able to see a blur of liquid life lay before it. Backing within itself, the creature rattles with fear. The world outside the depths burns with life, burns with the unknown welcome of splendor. Solitude shakes the change of freedom, sending unknown thoughts upon the young creature. Click, 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 click. Echoes of utter agony flow through the chambers. Slowly moving forward, temptation battles with intrigue, with fear being the victor. Reaching forward, the young adolescent wishes to touch the light, but closes its eyes as it does so, for in order to touch the light, one must let it shine upon them, illuminating what lies beneath. Unable to behold even the image of its clawed hand, the adolescent can't bear to behold its own image. It turns tail and flees, leaving a fracture in the tunnels, leading to the world of mortals, which unknowingly lie in wait for that darkness which lies just beneath them. Next, we shall recite the only known works of the dwellers in the deep. Consumption devours the essence of depravity. Musings linger in love, lost sanction of mortal tangent. Whilst lost light dwindles in withered men and rancid women. Memories white, red, and black and claw beneath broken flesh. Impurity reddens the twilight amid hope's last stand. Within cages I dwell your agony and hunger. Hedonist as you are, shunned and hidden among foul men. Within thine will lies the gate to despair and death of self. Those among shadow who dwell no warmth nor pleasure. Among your own flesh, thine feeds among thine kin, you breed blood. Souls infinite and bound suffer within infinite soil. With each and every breath, blackened blood will seep in mass, spawning willful children of hungered flesh and rancid blood. Internal depth falls into poverty of burned spirit. Sabbaths of blood and breath die in depth amid willful rot. Scapegoats of violence and self-hate, thou shalt inherit hell. Forcefully bred within fear, war, and fire, thou hast seen fate last. Legions within oneself battle for loss and death of kin. Trampled spirits birth infants of lost power in essence. Ye let within the dark, so the light shall illuminate. Unconscious desire brings not but pain and suffering still. Myth and human essence dwindles in fate, death, and the self. On your will thine sun shall set, upon rotten hills they sleep. Pits of will lead upon paths of prior bestiality. In the face of light, cowardice sends thee back into depths. And that was tonight's terror tale, The Deep. Thanks for listening.